Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap with my opinion on 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 15. It's titled Cold and Calculated. Okay, let's get started. Okay, got a whole bunch of stuff on my in front of me here. All right. The first couple we're going to talk about is Jasmine and Geno. Can't stand them. Anyway, Jasmine and Geno are back in Panama City. Geno got Jasmine an apartment that the rent is $700 a month. I don't understand why she can't afford an apartment on her own. She claims she has 3 jobs, and she claims she makes one job. She makes $3,000 a month or something. Why she can't pay for her own apartment? And she always wants things she can't afford. She wants a trip all over the world. She wants expensive wedding ring, engagement ring. She wants expensive wines. She wants boob jobs. She wants her own apartment. She wants all these things that she can't afford. And Geno is dumb. He doesn't have a job. Yeah, he doesn't have a job, and he's paying for her stuff, for everything for her. He's about to use up his life savings on her. Now he's worried that he has to pay her rent, pay her bills and his bills, as well as pay for her visa to come to the States. Jasmine is going to bleed him dry. And he's afraid to say no to her because he's afraid she'll dump him. What kind of relationship is that to have with somebody? He's going to be living in fear for the rest of his life. And also, she wants to redecorate his house. That's going to cost money too. And he tells her, it's going to cost money. She goes, well, you need to get a job. And she doesn't care what kind of job he gets as long as he brings in the money. He could be on somebody's floor, scrubbing somebody's floor, scrubbing toilets. He doesn't care as long as he has a job to afford the things that she wants. She's so selfish. Anyway, the next scene, Jasmine is asleep, so Gina sneaks out of the house or the apartment to go to a cafe to get a donut and a soda. You gotta sneak out of the house to get donuts and soda because she wants him to eat healthy. He is going to have a miserable life. He doesn't look overweight and unhealthy. Why can't he have a donut and a soda? It's not like he's overweight and can't breathe, can't walk up the steps, and let that man have a donut and a soda. So he goes to the cafe, he sits down at the table, he gets his donut and his soda. He calls his uncle, Marco. And he tells his uncle Marco that he proposed to Jasmine, and Jasmine said yes. Geno tells his uncle that he's worried about finances because he has to pay for Jasmine's apartment and also his condo. So Uncle Geno, he made sure Jasmine wasn't around. He asks Geno, is Jasmine there? And Geno's like, no. And then he says, he starts asking Geno about a prenup. And thank God for Uncle Marco, because Geno's not, he wouldn't do it on his own. He has to be forced to do this. Uncle Marco told Geno that you work hard for your money. And you have to protect yourself. And Jasmine is that type of female that will marry him, find something small to fight over, divorce him, and then take him for all he's got. She's that type of female. Geno says in his confessional that he bought his ex-wife over from Brazil. She didn't sign a prenup. She divorced him, and he had to give her a lot of money. And now he has more money than he had back then. So if Jasmine does that to him, he's going to lose everything. So it's a no-brainer. Geno knows what he has to do. He has to tell Jasmine, I can't marry you unless you sign this prenup. And Uncle Marco advised Geno to tell Jasmine now. Tell her right there, right now, before you leave for the state. Come back to the States. And I agree with Uncle Marco. Tell her now. And she won't break up with him because she needs somebody to pay for that to pay her rent for $700 monthly. And her bills. The next scene, Geno and Jasmine are out somewhere having dinner. And Geno is stressing because he wants to discuss the prenup with Jasmine, and he knows she's going to be pissed. But Jasmine, she's on one again. Yet again, she finds something very tiny to get upset with Geno about. Apparently she snooped and found out that Geno's ex-wife kept Geno's last name. So what? And now Geno's in trouble because the ex-wife kept his last name. If Geno don't dump this witch, then he's going to have to live a miserable life for the rest of his life. Jasmine tells Geno he needs to talk to his ex-wife and get her to change her name or else. Now Geno feels like he can't talk to her about the prenup because she's already pissed about this name thing. Now he can't talk to her about the prenup. Geno is dumb. He is dumb. Jasmine can yell and scream all she wants to. She's not going to break up with him because she needs him to pay for the apartment and she needs him to pay her bills. So Geno needs to just grab his balls and man up and tell her, look, you're going to sign this prenup. She's not going to dump him because she needs him to pay her bills. Anyway, thank God that's the end of them. Oh my gosh, we're on to Ximena and Mike. I should save them for last, but they're exhausting. They exhaust me. Let's try and go through them really, really quickly because it's past my bedtime. It's after 10. So we pick back up where we left off. Mike is running from the cameras. He wants somewhere to be alone, to go cry in a dark alley somewhere because Ximena dumped him. But Ximena is back at the pool hall and she has tears in her eyes, and I'm pretty sure she's thinking about the money she has to pay back to the loan shark because she couldn't get any money out of Mike to help with the boob, to pay for the boob job. So the producers ask her what's the reason she ended the relationship, and she basically tells the producer that she's too good for Mike. Her exact words were, imagine me living with him. To me, that means I'm too good for him. Anyway, when Mike finally realized that there's no possible way he could outrun the cameraman with the 50-pound camera on his shoulder, he decides to sit down and talk. And Mike says to the camera, he doesn't know what he did wrong. What are you talking about? You don't know what you did wrong. She told you when you went to buy a wedding dress, she told you, if you don't give me the money for the boobs, then don't buy the wedding dress. That means if you're not going to pay for my boob jobs, I'm not marrying you. That's what that means. What do you mean what went wrong? She wants you to pay for her boobs. And you're not going to do it, so she doesn't want to marry you. And plus, you discuss her. What's her name? Nelsie already told you that. And she already told you, Ximena already told you, I'm not in love with you. So what are you talking about? Where did I go wrong? What is wrong with him? So he goes back to the pool hall, and Ximena asks him, why did he run off? And he said, you dumped me, and you don't love me. See, now he recognized, he said the words, you dumped me, right? She dumped him, and he's saying it. He's acknowledging that she dumped him, period. And then he says, and you don't love me. She goes, I don't love, she goes, I'm not in love with you. She says, I love you, I'm just not in love with you. And the relationship is over. So now this is the second time she's telling him that the relationship is over. She told him the relationship was over, and then he ran off. He comes back and he confirms, you dumped me. And now she's saying again, the relationship is over. So she's told him the relationship is over. That means she dumped him. He came back and he confirmed it. You dumped me. And now she's telling him again the relationship is over. So she said it twice and he confirmed it. So you are dumped, Mike. You are officially dumped. Okay? So she told him, don't come back to the house. And she tells him, I'll get a hotel for you. But Mike begs her. He says, please. He begs her to let him come back to the house to sleep in. And he said he would sleep in the spare bedroom. And Ximena's like, why? I'll just dump you. Why do you want to come back to the house? And he's begging her. He says, please, please, por favor. So she's like, okay, all right, fine, whatever. All right. So they go back to the apartment. And Ximena's sister is there. And Ximena yells at Mike because he's walking on her rug with his dirty shoes. Excuse me. And I'm going to break here for a minute. Ximena's outfit is hideous. I don't know. I think she got dressed in the dark. She's wearing something that looked like combat boots. She's wearing fishnet stockings. She's wearing rolled up jeans, short jeans, and a tank top. And then this hideous scarf on her head. She looks ridiculous. She looks crazy. Anyway, Mike goes to bed. And Ximena tells her sister that she dumped Mike. And then they start talking about what they're going to do now that they've lost their cash cow. The next scene is Ximena's in the kitchen. It's the next morning. Ximena's in the kitchen. And Mike walks in the kitchen. He goes, he says, love. And then he goes, Ximena. Because he remembers now, she dumped me. So he goes, I'm sorry. He goes, Ximena. And she's like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to go pack. Well, why do you have to tell her you're going to go pack? Just go pack. So now that's the second time he's acknowledged that he has been dumped. Because he walks in the kitchen, he goes, love. Then he realized, shoot, no, Ximena. So that's realizing that you have been dumped. So he acknowledged that he's been dumped twice. She told him she's dumping him twice. And in a relationship twice. So we're good now. You're dumped. I think, anyway, I was going to say, I think he thinks that, she's going to change her mind. That's why he comes to tell her, I'm going to pack now. What do you think she's going to say? Don't bother packing. Don't leave. But he comes in and tells her he's going to pack. Just go pack. In his confessional, he says he leaves tomorrow to go back to the States. But a small part of him feels like it's not over. We have just established that she told you twice that the relationship is over. You acknowledged it twice that the relationship is over. Now you're saying that you feel like it's not over? What is wrong with him? Something wrong with that man. And then he says in his confessional that he hopes she comes to her senses. So because she dumps you, she's not in her right mind? The nerve of him. I hope she comes to her senses. Hope she thinks about this and come to her senses. So even though he acknowledged that he's been dumped twice, and she told him twice the relationship is over, in his mind, it's still not over as far as he's concerned. I don't get him. I don't understand him. I think he's a total moron. So after he's finished packing, Ximena comes into the room and she hands him a cup, and I think it's maybe it's coffee. And then she says, I'll be right back. And she comes back with the wedding ring and the engagement ring. She hands it to him. And this is what Mike says to her. He tells her to keep the ring until they work out their differences. He acknowledged twice that she dumped him. She's told him twice the relationship is over with. Now he's saying, keep the rings until we work out our differences. There's no differences to work out. It's done. The relationship is over. In his mind, the relationship is not over. I don't understand him. I don't get him. Keep the rings until we solve our differences. What are you talking about? So Ximena tells him for the third time now, our relationship is over. Mike says to her, do you realize that you are losing the best thing that you've ever had? This is what he says to her. He is the best thing she has ever had. Ximena tells him, the best thing I've ever had are my children. Mike tells her that he has kept her and her kids off the street for a year and a half. Wait a minute. So before he met her, she was on the streets with her kids? Is that what he's saying? I don't think so. She was working, and he told her to stop working. So she said to him, just because you paid my rent and helped me doesn't mean I would have been on the street. Then she said she can work as a model. And all this time she's been saying, I want to work as a model. I want to work as a model. I want to get boobs so I can work as a model. I didn't understand what the hell she was talking about. Because models, when I think of a model, I think of a thin, tall woman with no breasts walking down the runway in some kind of lavish outfit. When I think of a model, that's what I think of. I don't think of someone short like Ximena with tattoos all over her, with big breasts. So when she kept saying, I want to get big breasts so I can be a model, I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? Now I understand. She takes her clothes off, or she models her body online and men pays. That's what she's talking about. So I guess if she get bigger boobs, she probably get more money. That's what she's talking about. I wasn't thinking about that. So now I understand what she's talking about. She wants to be a model. She's not a model. She's just, showing her body on the internet and getting money for it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying now I understand what she's talking about. So Mike asked her if she is going to go back to taking off her clothes on the internet. There you go. Ximena said to him, what's wrong with that? That's how you met me. And in her confessional, she spilled all the beans. Ximena explained that it's hard to find a job in Colombia. And when you do find a job, the pay is small. So she worked as a webcam model. And that's how she met Mike. But Mike doesn't want anybody to know that's how they met. Ximena said that Mike was on the site every single day. She said one day he told her, get off the site and and from then on, he's been taking care of her. That's what she tells us in our confessional. But Mike is still trying to shoot his shot. Mike tells her, he says, if she takes him back, he will take her to New York and help her learn English and get a job. And before he even finished, Ximena cuts him off. And she says, I never wanted to go live in New York. Ximena knows more English than we think she do. She said, I want to stay right here in Colombia. But my thing is, why did she accept his proposal if she wants to stay in Colombia? I don't know. And Americans have this preconceived notion that all foreigners want to come to the States. Some do, but not all. And she wants to stay in Colombia. But I think Mike is finally starting to get it. He's starting to get it, starting to realize now that this relationship is over with. He said, do you want me out of your life forever? Forever. She tells him straight up, she tells him, look, we can be friends or we can be enemies. That's up to you. But I simply don't want to be with you anymore. So we just make now the fourth time she's telling him, I'm done. The relationship is over with. She said, I don't know how else to say it. She said, I've told you this 1,000 times. This is about the fourth time now she's telling him the relationship is over with. She said, I've told you this 1,000 times and you act like you don't understand. This relationship is over, period. So this is the 5th time now she's telling him the relationship is over with. So Mike basically tells her that she is a cold bitch and she was using him for money. How was she using him for money when she's on her site doing her thing? Every single day you're on the site watching her and I'm being obsessed over her, and you finally say, you know what, get off the site and I'll take care of you. You don't want nobody else looking at her. You want to be the only one looking at her. So you you started taking care of her. How is she using you for money when this is your decision to tell her to get off the site and you send her money? So how is she using you for money? She's your private dancer. That's what she is. She is your private dancer. You only wanted her showing her body to you and you alone. And you paid her for that. So how is she taking you for money? So she tells him, to think what you want to think. Because he's saying, oh, so you're using me for money. And she said, you know what? Think what you want to think. But this shit is over. Don't send me any more money. She tells him, and get out and go to a hotel. So this is the sixth time now she's saying, don't send me any more money. So this is over with. Now again, this is over with. Don't send me any more money. The shit is over, she's saying. So this is the sixth time now she's telling him that this relationship is over with. And she tells him, get out and go get a hotel. Because at first she had told him he could stay. But now that he's insulting her and telling her that she was using him for money, she's like, no, what? Get the hell out. Get out. Go to a hotel. Don't send me any more money. This relationship is over with. I want nothing else to do with you. Out. Mike said, no, I paid the rent. I'm not leaving. And he does have a point. Why should he leave after he pays the rent and go spend money on a hotel? He's got one more night to stay. He might as well stay. He's sleeping in the spare bedroom, so why not let him stay? But she's pissed because he's saying she used him for money. So Mike says that he has work in the morning, but what does that have to do with anything? You can work from anywhere. You can work from the hotel. You're working from her dining room table. You can work anywhere. Talking about, I have work in the morning. So Ximena tells him, leave today, because she's tired of him saying that she used him for money. So she's standing by the door with the door wide open, waiting for him to walk through the door with his crap. And Mike goes upstairs. He just goes upstairs. And then the producer asks him if he's okay. And Mike says that he feels like shit. And he says nothing matters to her but money. He says she can go be an adult entertainment model if she wants to be. He says, I don't care. He says she is a mean, evil, cold bitch. Why does he have to call her out of her name? She didn't call him out of his name. Then he said, son of a bitch in Spanish. I don't even think he knows what he said. So Mike is sitting in the bedroom. Ximena thinks he doesn't want to leave because he thinks that they may reconcile. And that's exactly what he's thinking. Because she's told him 6 times now that the relationship is over with and he wants to stay. So Ximena and her sister, they're standing by the front door waiting for Mike to leave, to walk out of the door with his stuff. But no Mike. Mike's not leaving. He's still upstairs. So next we see Ximena and her sister. They're sitting outside of the apartment. And they're saying how rude Mike is for not leaving. Anyway, Mike comes outside and he says to them, all I want to do is stay this last night so that I can say goodbye to the children. That's lies. That's lies. Mike don't give a crap about her kids. He just called their mother a bitch. He don't give a damn about those kids. Ximena tells him, I don't want you to stay here. He tells her he tells her she's acting very immature. Ximena tells him, I don't give a damn. I don't want you to stay here. Mike said, I want to say goodbye to the kids in the morning. And you'll never see me again after that, I promise. Ximena tells him, I don't want you to say goodbye to my kids. She said, please, it's over. You're leaving. Mike said, nope. You are just saying these things because you're angry. So he's still not absorbing the fact that she's dumped him 6 times now. 6 times she's told him this relationship is over with. And he thinks she's just mad. She's just saying these things because she's mad. She tells him, you are leaving and I am not going to say it again. Mike says no. So he gets up and he walks inside and he says, I'm going to sleep. And Ximena said, "You are not going to sleep." Ximena says she is sick of him, and she goes upstairs to the bedroom to tell him. And she tells him, she goes up to the bedroom, and she tells him that she doesn't want him here. She said, "Leave." Mike says, "No." She says, "Leave, please go." And she tells him, "You are not going to stay here." And then Mike says, "No." And the sister comes into the room. And I think the sister is afraid that Ximena is going to beat the crap out of Mike. And then Ximena says, "This is stupid." And Mike thinks she called him stupid too. So he said, "You're stupid." So she looked at him. She said, "You just called me stupid?" She said, "You're leaving now." And Mike says, "No." And then Ximena said, I'm fed up, man." That's what she says. Then she leaves the room. And her sister explains to Mike that she didn't call you stupid. She said, "This is stupid. And you just called her stupid." So Ximena is sitting on the stairs crying, and her eldest son comes and puts his arm around her. Mike is still in the bedroom with the sister, and then he starts to cry. He asks the sister if he goes to a hotel, can he come back tomorrow and say goodbye to the kids? And she says yes. And then Mike is saying, "Everyone has been so nice to me." And the sister is like, "Just get your stuff and go to the hotel. Come back tomorrow and say goodbye to everybody." And if I were them, when he comes back the next day, I wouldn't open the door. Because it's hard to get him to leave now. It might be hard to get him to leave tomorrow too. Anyway, Ximena's mother walks through the door, and Ximena goes over to her and she hugs her mom. And she tells her mom, "Mike's being so rude." And I think they even showed him still upstairs with his face red, probably still crying. That's the end of Ximena and Mike. They're exhausting. Next, it's Ben and Mahogany. This is my favorite couple. This is my favorite storyline, Ben and Mahogany. Okay, so we see Ben. Ben is in his hotel room. He made it back to San Bartolo all by himself, paying he paid like $360 something. Then he had to tip the poor guy. He probably had to tip. So he probably all paid close to $300 for that ride. Anyway, he said he's in his hotel room, and he said he has not heard from Mahogany. He says he leaves to go back to the States in 2 days. So he sends her a text begging her to meet up with him. He's so pathetic. She left him stranded, and now he's begging her to meet up with him. Ben said he's going to apologize for not coming to breakfast. He's such a dummy. Such a dummy. So they meet up, and Mahogany said she left Ben because he disrespected her and her parents when he didn't show up for breakfast. So Ben apologizes, and he gives her a teddy bear. But Mahogany is not satisfied with that. Oh, no. Mahogany gets Ben to apologize to her twice. She left him stranded, but she had him apologizing to her twice. She told him, when I met you at the restaurant, you made me feel like I was unimportant. That's why I left you. That's why she left him, because when they met at the restaurant, he made her feel unimportant. So he apologized to her for that. So that's the second apology. But not once did she apologize to him for abandoning him, for leaving him stranded. Not once did she apologize for that. Mahogany is a little manipulator. So after he apologizes twice, guess what she does? She reprimands him. She tells him, "Don't you ever do that again." And Ben said, I won't do it again. I promise. I promise I won't do that again. She abandoned him. She left him stranded. She deserted him. And here he is squirming, trying to get back in her good graces. Mahogany's good. She's really good. So they go for a walk, and Ben tells her, "Baby, I love you. And if God put us together, nobody can tear us apart." He's so damn dramatic. So Mahogany says to him, she says, "I'm so confused. And Ben said, it's impossible? Because she says, I'm so confused in her language, in Spanish. And he says, it's impossible? He don't understand what she's talking about. And she says, confuso. And he probably thought she said, I love you, because he pulls her into him and kisses her. And then he comes up for air, and then he kisses her again. Not once, but twice. Now Ben can go back to the States, a happy camper. So later on, Mahogany tells the camper that for an old guy, Ben kisses well. Ben is 52 years old. He has plenty of practice on kissing. So I'll be shocked if he didn't kiss well. So later on, Ben tells the camera that her kisses blew his mind. Anyway, they went their separate ways, but they plan to meet up the next day. So now it's the next day. Ben plans on spending the day with Mahogany. So they go in a car and they drive to Lima, Peru. And when they get to Lima, they get out of the car and they walk, around the beach area. Then they sat down to talk. And Ben tells Mahogany that she has had a hard time trusting him, but trust goes both ways. Mahogany says to Ben, you don't trust me? And I'm proud of Ben. Just this one little time, I'm proud of him. Ben tells her, your picture does not look the same. He tells her that. He told her, you told me you were 23 going on 24. When he told her that her picture doesn't look the same, she just looked at him and smiled. She didn't say anything. She didn't defend herself because how can you defend that? It's the truth. Your picture looks younger and it's totally airbrushed and you look slimmer. So she didn't respond to him when he said, your picture does not look the same. She just smiled at him. Then he tells her, you told me you were 23 going on 24. She said, no. He said, I have it on chat. That's proof right there that she lied to him. Then she goes, I don't remember that. I got Mahogany is something else. So Ben asked her if she was hiding her age from him. And all of a sudden, Mahogany does not understand English. She goes, what? I don't understand. All of a sudden, she does not understand English. It's hilarious. I love her. She is so funny to me. Then she tried to flip the script on him. She goes, there's things you didn't tell me. She said, you didn't tell me you didn't get along with your ex-wife. What does that have to do with anything? So what if he doesn't get along with his ex-wife? What does that have to do with Mahogany? She tells him that there's a lot of things she doesn't know about him. She's trying to flip the script now because she is found out that she lied to him because he has it on chat where she told him that she was 23 going on 24 and then she just had a birthday, so she should be 24. And he can prove that she said that to him. So now she's trying to flip the script on him, telling him there's lots of things I don't know about you. She said, there's lots of things I don't know about you. The only thing you don't know about me is my age. Then she got mad. She goes, I'm leaving. She tells him that he is using her and playing games with her. See, now she's mad because he caught her in a lie. She can't defend the age thing because it's on chat saying that she's told him she was 23 going on 24. So she can't defend that because she did say that. And he can pull up his phone and show it to her. So now she's pissed. She goes, there's things you didn't tell me about you. And then she goes, you're using me and you're playing games with me. And she goes, I'm leaving. So she puts on her coat, she gets up, and she walks off. She just didn't like being confronted by him. And if he wanted a relationship with her, he should have kept his mouth shut. And she don't like that. So Ben is left sitting there looking around like, well, he's just left sitting there. He's so shocked that she walked off. And that's the end of Ben and Mahogany. Those two are my favorite. They make me laugh. So now we go to the boring ones. Memphis and Hamisha. They're boring to me. I don't, just boring. Okay. It's the day of the wedding, and the bride and the groom are getting pampered. Memphis is getting her wig straightened. Hamisha's mother is feeding her food. And, she's feeding both Hamisha and Memphis food. And then later on we see Memphis getting henna done on her foot. It looks good. It looks beautiful. I love it. They had her lie down so they can do her makeup. But I didn't like her makeup. Her makeup looked white. Made her face look really white. It didn't look good to me. And Hamisha's father showed up, and Hamisha's father looked old enough to be his grandfather. But Hamisha is happy that both his parents are in the same room together. So when they're all dressed, Hamisha looks amazing. Oh, he looks gorgeous. I love the way his hair looks good. His outfit looks good from head to toe. Hamisha looks good. Okay? I didn't like the way Memphis looked. I didn't like her hair. Her hair was just straight down. It didn't look good. Her makeup was white. Her face looked white. Her eye makeup kind of looked okay. It looked sparkly. It kind of looked okay. Her outfit, I hated her outfit. It was a white pants outfit with this cover-up big thing, hood. I didn't like it. She looked ridiculous to me. She should have had on a dress. I didn't like that. But the wedding seemed nice. It was nice. It was quick. They took a vehicle to the venue, and there were people following, escorting them on motorcycles. I don't know if they were Hamisha's friends or family. I don't know. But they looked good. Like it was like a procession. It looked good. And people were waving to them while they were in their car. And when they got to the venue, Memphis and Hamisha had to sign something. Memphis don't even know what she's signing, but she signed it. And then the officiant is talking. She doesn't understand a word that the officiant is saying. And eventually they start reciting some stuff. She's just standing there. She don't know what the heck they're talking about. And then Hamisha kisses Memphis, and she realized that they're married now. The ceremony is over. It happened just like that. And everybody congratulated them, and they danced. And Hamisha can dance. He was going to the beat. He got some rhythm. He was going to the beat. He was just, oh yeah. Hamisha was looking really, really good. He has some rhythm, and he was just dancing to the beat of that music, boy. He can dance. And all Memphis can think about is the honeymoon. The next scene is Hamisha and Memphis are on their honeymoon. They're on the coast. They said they've been on the coast for 3 days. And now it's time for them to go back to Hamisha's mother apartment. Memphis says that she has something to tell Hamisha, and she has no idea how he's going to take the news. Memphis is in the hotel room, and Hamisha walks in with breakfast. Memphis sits down. She sits him down, and she tells him that she's pregnant. And I wasn't surprised because I know that in real time she is pregnant. I'm not sure if she's had the baby yet. So I'm not shocked about that. So Hamisha seems pleasantly surprised. He asked her to see the pregnancy test. So I'm pretty sure he knew before she sat him down and told him he knew that she was pregnant, because all of a sudden he said, let me see the pregnancy test. How he know she take a pregnancy test? Yeah. Maybe she had told him and they cut that part out. I don't know, but I think he knew before. He knew before she did a scene in the hotel room with him. So an hour later, they leave to go back to Hamisha's mother's apartment. They get to the apartment. The sister hugs Memphis. The sister and mother hugs Memphis. Hamisha tells the mother and the sister about their honeymoon trip. Hamisha tells the sister and the mother that Memphis is pregnant. They smile and they congratulate and they hug Memphis. And the mother said, you bring a little Hamisha. I would love to see that baby. I bet you that baby is gorgeous. And then the mother basically tells the camera that she doesn't care that they slept together before the wedding, now that she's going to be a grandma for the first time. I don't know if that's for the first time. I don't know if the sister has a child. And now Memphis is worried, and she's crying in the confessional about not having any help with the baby once she gets back to the States. You're the one that got yourself pregnant. You could have used protection. You got yourself pregnant. Now you're crying, talking about you're not going to have any help with this baby. Girl, bye. You've had 2 kids before. You know how to get pregnant. So you should know how to avoid getting pregnant. Girl, bye. And then Memphis is so rude. They were sitting there talking to the mother and the sister. And then she just gets up. She goes, I'm tired. And she gets up and walks into the bedroom and shuts the door. Instead of saying, I'm tired, I'm going to go lie down. Excuse me. And walk. You know, she's so rude. Ugh. Him's going to have to deal with this crap for the rest of his life. I'm not a Memphis fan at all. At all. Last but not least, Kimberly and friggin' Usman. It's the day for Kimberly to go back to the States. Thank the Lords. They get into the van to go to the airport. Kim is crying. What you crying for? What you crying for? Usman is hugging her and kissing her. On the cheek, that is, not the lips. And she said she got the yummy last night. And it was good. And she thanked Usman for giving her the yummy last night. So he starts singing about her loving his yummy. So she made him pinky swear that he wouldn't give the yummy to anybody else while she is in the States. They get to the airport, and the messy producer asks them if there is going to be a goodbye kiss on the lips. Kimberly says yes, Usman says no. Kimberly says yes, Usman says no. Usman says kissing in the airport is like a public announcement. Announcement of what? Engagement? Marriage? What is that a public announcement of? I know in some countries that if you show public PDA, you may get arrested. But he's saying this will is a public announcement. A public announcement of what? Anyway, Kimberly gets upset because she's not going to be kissed on the lips. She said, is he ashamed of me or something? Why can't he kiss me on the lips? So Usman tells her, whenever you don't get your way, you get angry. And it's the truth. That's how she is. If she doesn't get her way, she's like a big kid. She gets angry when she doesn't get her way. Girl, bye. Then they hug, and she kisses him on the cheek, and she cries some more. Then they high-five each other, and they go their separate ways. This is the end of my review. I will be back next week with another review. It's the finale. Can't wait. Thank you for watching. Princess on a Pillow here. Bye.